Yeah, because if they have,
for some reason,
well, actually, two opportunities. Because they can still that's how this
Looking back, it's been the second.
I will now call to order the November 18th, 2025 regular school board meeting of the Stanwood-Camano School District Board of Directors. All of our directors are here: Director King, Murray, Olson, Evans, and Schreiber, and both of our student advisors are here. Thank you. Today we're offering two opportunities for the public to speak. Comments specific to the consent agenda will be allowed prior to the vote on those items. And citizens who have submitted a request to speak during the public comment section of the agenda will be called upon to make their comments at that time, which is near the end of the meeting. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have the agenda before you for the November 18th, 2025 regular school board meeting. Is there any changes to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the November 18th, 2025 regular school board meeting as written?
So moved.
Moved by Director Murray.
Second.
Seconded by Director Evans. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. That passes unanimously. The board has had the opportunity to review the November 4th, 2025 regular school board meeting minutes. Are there any changes or corrections to those minutes? Is there a motion to approve the minutes for the November 4th, 2025 regular school board meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Director King,
Second.
seconded by Director
Evans.
Evans. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. That passes unanimously. It is time for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Director Schreiber. Good evening, everyone. We have a healthy superintendent's report tonight, mostly filled with some celebrations. So we'll get started, though, with donations, which will be read in by our student representatives.
The Stanwood-Camano School District received the following donations: $200 flat from Jonathan Sub in support of helping cover food service balances for students at Stanwood Middle School.
$200 flat from Jonathan Soft in support of helping cover food services balances for students at Stanwood Elementary School.
Thank you both, and thank you to Mr. Soth for the donations for the two schools. Appreciate that. Next up on the superintendent's report is our next Shining Star, which will be the Shining Star from Twin City Elementary. And Principal Ryan Barcy is going to present that Shining Star.
All right, good evening, school board and student advisors. I'd like everybody to say a big hello to Miss Claire Dott. This is my first Shining Star. It's really exciting to be a part of this. I just have to say, when I was working with the team to come up with a student for our Shining Star Award, this one was absolutely unanimous, and it was an easy decision. Some of her teachers are here tonight, but I just wanted to say a few words before I invite Ms. Erickson up here to say some things about Claire. Claire has been chosen as Twin City Elementary's Shining Star student for being an example of resilience and growth as a student and also as a person. Claire lights up any room that she is in. What do you guys think? She lights up any room that she's in and really embodies what our Tiger Pride pledge is all about, which is being responsible, being respectful, and being safe. Claire is an excellent classmate. She is a wonderful friend to others, and she brings a positive learning attitude to school each day. Mrs. Erickson is here, and also Ms. Cruz and Ms. Taylor, who have also had Claire, but Ms. Erickson is going to come up and say a few words about Claire.
All right, my name is Tiffany Erickson, and I get to read on behalf of her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Richards, who could not make it tonight, and then Ms. Taylor, her second grade teacher, and then myself, I was her first grade teacher, and currently her third grade teacher. So I've been lucky enough to have Claire a couple of times. So this is on behalf of Mrs. Richards, who says sorry she can't make it. It has been a joy and an honor to have her in kindergarten. From the very first day, she arrived eager and excited to learn. Though she began the year a bit shy, she quickly blossomed into a confident, engaged, and enthusiastic learner. Throughout the year, she demonstrated a genuine love for learning and a remarkable ability to build friendships. She showed kindness in every interaction, often going out of her way to help others. No matter the task, she always put forth her best effort and approached each day with a positive spirit. She is a sweet, caring, and incredibly hardworking student, and I could not be more proud of the growth she has shown. Her dedication, character, and heart made her a truly deserving shining star. So, and this is on behalf of Ms. Taylor. Okay. All right. Claire is truly an amazing student, and she is so deserving of this award. She brings joy, smiles, and enthusiasm every single day. Each morning when she walks into school, she brightens everyone's day and lifts the spirits of everyone around her by always making others laugh, no matter what she is doing. Claire gives her best effort and works incredibly hard. Claire's determined effort led her from reading well below grade level in the beginning of second grade to finishing the year above grade level. I am so proud of the incredible growth that she made, both as a learner and as a person. Even when faced with challenges, Claire always kept a positive attitude and shows remarkable resilience. She is a shining example of perseverance, kindness, and hard work, and it's an honor to recognize her today. And then here's my word. So I've had the privilege of being Claire's teacher, not just this year, like I said, but also as a first grader. And for me, it's been so amazing to see how much she's grown, not only in her learning, but in her confidence and her determination and her social connection with her peers. Over the years, Claire has faced some challenges in her learning and relationship connections with peers, but what has made her stand out is that she tackles each obstacle that comes her way. As Claire has gotten older, her confidence in herself has grown. She does not give up when something feels hard, and instead she listens and stays on task during lessons, working hard to implement what is being taught with each activity that we are working on. Claire learns differently than many of her peers, and she is the student that keeps going and trying until she figures it out. I have never seen Claire give up on something that doesn't come easily to her, and that kind of persistence is what makes her such a strong student and a great example for others. In the classroom, she brings positive energy, curiosity, and kindness, and a great sense of humor. Whether she's helping a classmate, especially with her math facts, or just being kind by asking students if they want to play ball at recess, she makes our class a better place every single day. So congratulations, Claire. You have earned the Shining Star, and I think you exemplify everything that it means.
And really quickly, Claire, would you introduce your family that is here tonight?
This is my mom, and this is my brother, and that's my dad, and that's my auntie, and that's my baby.
All right. Thanks, Claire, we're going to meet you right over here. We're going to meet you right over here, Claire.
So this is the best part of the mission card. You get to take this on a special spot on the wall. And stick it there. Everybody can sit
There you go, press it hard on it.
Push on it hard.
There you go.
There you go.
So, Claire, step out just a little bit. Everyone get behind you. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to have my camera right here. You guys can scoot over here, too. All right, ready? 1, 2. There you go.
Happy smile.
Perfect.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have some goodies for you.
Thank you so much.
Claire. One more thing.
Wow. You're afraid for that.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next up is the Anti-Harassment, Intimidation, and Bullying Poster Contest winners. Executive Director Jennifer Allen is going to present those, and representative from the Kiwanis, Clarine Riccardi, is here with her to present those awards.
I get the honor also tonight of celebrating some of our students in the community. Each year we do a media contest, and it happens first at the building level and then voting at the district level as well. And we have winners from 4 different grade bands tonight, K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. I'm going to ask the students to come up and stand next to the artwork that they have created. And generously, Clarine is here on behalf of the Stanwood-Camano, who's providing a little extra something to our students. So, first place for our K2 age band is Lainey Williams. First place for the 3 through 5 grade band is Henry Lawn. First place for grades 6 through 8 is Autumn Barker. Thank you. And first place for 9 through 12 is Malia Williams.
Get a group photo so you guys can squish together. There you go. All right, you ready? 1, 2. Perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Just want to say thank you and congratulations again, and to point out that our K2 winner and our 9 through 12 winner are sisters. So there's a lot of
Congratulations.
Competition at home.
Jay? I like it. Jay? Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, go on. Definitely the last to get in there.
We're on the informal party. Go ahead.
Smile. Facing everybody. Smile, child.
Congratulations, Dan.
Thank you once again to students for entering the contest and participating in our anti-HIB month. We really appreciate it. Thank you to the Kiwanis for sponsoring this as well, Mrs. Riccardi. I will just take the liberty to say, families, you don't have to stay. The rest of the meeting is business, so you certainly can, but we'd definitely understand if you were going to scoot out to do dinner or other. So we appreciate it. All right, next up on the agenda, and back to the podium, is Principal Ryan Barcy, Twin City Elementary, to give the school report for the fall.
Is this the clicker that works
Yep.
too? Okay. All right, good evening, school board and student advisors. This is my first official school board meeting to share a little bit about Twin City and some of our goals that we're working on this year. So just to start, every decision that we make and everything that we do falls under this district vision of foundational early learning. So being committed to all the strong foundations for every student. We believe that early success is essential to lifelong growth and opportunity. So just to kind of get started with our math and ELA goals. For math, we've really started the school year off diving into math fluency. One of the big student goals that we have are that students will regularly engage in math fluency activities to flexibly, accurately, and efficiently solve basic facts and more complex addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And then we're specifically looking at Delta Math, the readiness assessment, and one of the things that we have talked about in our BLT is that we really want our grade levels to increase the number of students meeting our learning goal in 20% increments. So from fall to winter, 20%, and then from winter to spring, 20% as well. And just recently, our last couple of building-directed PDWs, we've shifted a little bit from math to ELA. We are really focusing this year on engaging in the writing process from beginning at the sentence level to the paragraph level to the essay level according to grade level standards. And we're doing a lot of our work out of this book, The Writing Revolution 2.0, which we've purchased for our staff members. We've covered chapter 1 and our next building PDW in December. We're doing this big jigsaw activity focusing on chapters 2, 3, and 4. And then students will demonstrate their comprehension of grade level text using sentence level, paragraph level, and essay level writing structures. So those really capture our math and ELA goals. For the staff actions behind these goals, our staff is implementing daily math fluency routines between 10 and 15 minutes, typically at the start of each math lesson, to teach strategies for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and or division. And this is at a tier 1 level. And we're trying to make it really engaging and fun. We're trying to model that in our staff meetings so we can take back to our kids as well. Our staff is utilizing Delta Math intervention materials. We're doing a lot of progress monitoring for students who qualify for tier 2 and tier 3 interventions. And this primarily takes place during our 30-minute win times, which are either in the AM or the afternoon. In ELA, staff is working on delivering explicit writing instruction that teaches writing process from sentence level to paragraph to essay, utilizing a lot of graphic organizers and planning tools. A lot of visuals for kids is really important. And then we're also using rubrics aligned to our ELA standards to assess writing and involve students in goal setting and reflection with their writing progress. So in terms of MTSS, we spent the first few weeks of school really building culture and learning communities in our classrooms. We intentionally taught school-wide expectations. I made some new graphics around the school which really highlight our expectations about being responsible, respectful, and safe. And everything falls under those three categories. We have a Tiger Pride pledge that is utilized in all the classrooms. It's visible in every teaching space and common space. But today I choose to be a responsible learner who shows respect to everyone and is safe with my words and body. And then for groupings and for our win time, students participate in flexible groupings during both math and reading win times, which is about 30 minutes daily, and this includes reading and math based on their Tier 2 and Tier 3 level of need. Actions that our staff a lot of our staff is doing this year is we're providing explicit instruction around our school-wide expectations. We are reinforcing these expectations, reteaching, particularly when we come back from breaks, that'll be an opportunity to spend a week or two kind of going over those expectations with students. We regularly recognize students for being responsible learners, respectful, and safe through Tiger Pride tickets. So, for example, any staff member can, when they see a student who is showing an example of being respectful, responsible, or safe, they can provide them a ticket, and they specifically identify what that student has done. That student takes the ticket back to their class, and then when those teachers get 50 tickets, they turn them into me. I collect those tickets for a school-wide goal, but classrooms also do a mini classroom celebration when they get their 50 tickets as well. One of the other things that we do is I have a Tiger Shop at the end of the week that teachers select 2 students per class to come to the shop who have earned a ticket for that week. And this is an opportunity for myself and other staff to recognize those kids when they come down. And I typically ask them, how did you earn your ticket this week? And get those kids to really articulate how they have shown that responsibility in the school. We also purchased SWIS, which is School-Wide Information System. And that's a PBIS program that we use to document behavior trends. So if we have students that are not following the pledge or are having multiple reminders, maybe a behavior is not changing, we document that. And we really use that as a proactive tool to work with students, to work on our school systems, to look for patterns, and to really work with those students. And then working with our school counselor, we're going to administer a student belonging survey. We're going to do one, I believe, in January, and then we're going to do one in the spring. And we're going to intentionally teach what belonging means with the kids and really try to make the language kid-friendly so they understand what they're asking. And basically questions like, do they feel like they have a safe, trusted adult? Do they feel like they have friends? Do they feel like they can take risks in their classrooms? Questions like that. And then sources of data that are informing our work. The 2 ones that I've highlighted that we're really looking at closely is Amplify data. So we're looking closely at our composite scores, our strand data, as well as our progress monitoring. And then we regularly look at SWIS behavior data and trends. It does a really good job of highlighting areas in the school where we might see some things occurring like at recess or in the hallway or at lunchtime or maybe a certain time of the day. So we do pay attention to those. We're looking very closely at Delta Math. We just recently looked at last year's SBA scores. We monthly are looking at our attendance data, and I'm working closely with our school counselor. We did notice a decrease in our critical attendance this last month, I think district-wide, but our building as well. We do look at skyward behavior data as well as classroom-based assessments. So just kind of an example of some data informing our AAP. one of our highest grade levels right now is our fourth grade. This is current scores in the fall. So 80% of them currently are at standard in our composite scores. 80% are at standard in reading fluency, and we have 68% at standard in comprehension. One of the things I wanted to highlight is we have a unique model at Twin City. Aaron Newen and Colby Harris are, excuse me, are two teachers that are teaching half-time in second grade. So one teaches in the morning and one teaches in the PM, and then the second half of their day is dedicated to instructional support. And the job description when we started this year was instructional coaching, but we've wanted to try to change that into more, it's less coaching and more just instructional support. So they meet with teams pretty regularly to look at data. They're in classrooms. They do a lot of organizing of our win time groups and really kind of being proactive with that data that's coming in. We are doing bi-weekly progress monitoring for all students receiving interventions in reading, as well as targeted instruction to push level 2 students to level 3. And then we also are targeting students in 4th and 5th grade who are just on the cusp of passing SBA. So we have a list of kids that have been really close historically, and this kind of aligns with their data throughout the years. And it's just one of those areas where, you know, we're talking a lot about student engagement this year, and one of the indicators is participating, which is considered passive engagement according to these authors. And so when I see these students, it makes me think about, okay, are these kids kids that just need like a little push? And so we're being really intentional with our 4th and 5th grade, obviously with all students, but we're looking at those students that are just on the cusp to see if we can just get them to push a little bit ahead for the spring. And then just a couple pictures. So we the one on the left where I was getting soaked was we earned $25,000 or raised $25,000 for our Tiger Sprint. And if we went over the $25,000 mark, I was gonna get dunked with water in the fall. And I've typically done this in the springtime. I've never done it in the fall before. So it was very cold, it was wet. Fortunately, I didn't get a cold or anything afterwards, so I got lucky there. But the kids really enjoyed it. We got a lot of video of it. The picture on the right is the Halloween carnival that our 2nd and 3rd grade high cap and our 4th and 5th grade high cap, kids from each class partnered with each other, and they spent a couple weeks sharing ideas about what type of carnival game they would want during Halloween week. And so that week, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, they had this set up, and kids could come in from different classrooms and play the games. And then the high cap students actually taught like the reasoning behind the games and how they used math, you know, or engineering to put these together. So Evan took a bunch of pictures of these. I know there's a lot of pictures out there, but this was a really, really fun activity. And then the picture on the left is our school garden. I got to, when I got hired, I got to kind of see the very tail end of it in the summer. And it was a beautiful garden, but I know there are plans in place to grow some new vegetables, new produce. But right now it's pretty much being led by a lot of our high cap students, but I'd like to start involving other classrooms as well. And then as you may have known, we had a chili cook-off, and this was Bree Upper who won our chili competition at Twin City. And she was the clear winner. She dominated this one. So, but that's a little bit about our school, and just kind of wanted to maybe open it up a little bit for questions. One of the things real quick that we expect to see this year is a school-wide focus on math fact fluency based on our data, staff and student engagement strategies with a focus on the engagement continuum. connecting our writing to amplify knowledge, curriculum beginning at the sentence, paragraph, and essay level, and then using Swiss, using our Tiger Pride tickets and a lot of the social things that we have in place at Twin City, really giving students an opportunity to reflect on and adjust their social behavior to support our overall school community. And then daily, weekly, monthly, regular recognition of students following and modeling school-wide expectations. And that is our presentation on Twin City. I wanted to open it up if you had any questions for me.
So I hear you say that you're using Swiss. I know in some of our other school presentations they talked about being better about using Skyward to track things in there. Does Swiss translate into Skyward, or is that duplicate work, or are you using Skyward?
Yep. So the way that I've kind of looked at it over the last couple of years, Swiss is much better at the school level to get quick, instant data. Skyward obviously is valuable when we have big behaviors with physical, language, whatever that is. The issue I think that comes with Skyward is sometimes it's not as easily accessible for teachers. So Swiss gives real-time data. Our behavior para, Amy Jackson, when a Swiss entry gets put into the system, it gets funneled directly to her. So she is the point person. She can see what is happening really in real time. And I also have a dashboard as well, so we can see things that are happening and respond to it right away. I think some of the challenges that I've seen with Skyward is sometimes it's a great documenting tool, but sometimes you don't get to it right away, and you have to kind of search for it. With Swiss, you get graphs, you get instant feedback, and oftentimes if it's a big behavior that goes into Swiss, it also I will put it into Skyward as well. But not everything that's in Swiss goes into Skyward.
I guess that's my question is, are you using Skyward the same as all the other schools are using Skyward?
Yes.
Or
The incidences that would rise to the level of discipline that needs to be documented at Twin City is going into Skyward the same as it is at other schools.
That's correct.
That data then is pulled into Panorama, our dashboard, but Swiss is, I don't want to say a level below, but it's more immediate feedback that staff can use.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure we have consistency, so if they move to a different school
Every-
or when you
yep,
go to
exactly. Yeah, thank you
middle
for
school,
that.
it's all kind of there.
Everyone is
Okay.
using Skyward as that endpoint.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A couple of our colleagues were not sure, my colleagues were not sure about some of your abbreviations. So WIN time is what I need now.
What I need now,
Yeah,
correct.
and
Yep.
then PBIS, obviously positive behavior
Intervention system.
supports. One of the things I wanted to comment is that what I see in what you expect to see this year and everything you reference in your APP is always referenced in your communication to staff on Fridays and your newsletters to families. It's very, very consistent. You are giving feedback on what's happening and giving awareness of what's coming. And so I really appreciate seeing that every weekend because I think it helps just focus your efforts, and so that your bullets or your 5 bullets are exactly what you're working on. There's no mystery. It's clear and it's targeted, and good on you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and I'll just add real quick, I've shared this with Ryan, but just the communication tools that we have to be able to send out these newsletters every week is something I haven't really experienced before, and I appreciate it. I think staff appreciates it, family appreciates it, and I enjoy the frequent communication, being able to do this every week.
Well, and you're on point. I think that's really important.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to lift up the high cap engagement. I think it sounds fantastic, and I love the idea that you're engaging them and bringing the rest of the school community along in interaction. So thank you for doing that.
Okay, thank you, Principal Barcy. I'll just say that I was in the the classroom, high cap classrooms on that day, and I felt like I was at Carnival. So it was an amazing experience for that. And like you said, Director Murray, the fact that it was really a school-wide event where all students got to experience it speaks to our promise. So thank you, Principal Barcy. Appreciate it.
Did I stick to the 10 minutes?
No, not at all. Next up on the agenda is our financial updates. And Executive Director of Business Services, Ruth Floyd, is here to do that. I'll just thank Ruth publicly right now, as she has already served our community by participating in jury duty in Coopville all day today and made her way back for this presentation. So I want to say I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Good evening, directors. I'll be presenting the 24-25 year-end financial report, which reflects how we closed the fiscal year on August 31 and provides a brief outlook for the next 2 years. This is the starting point for the decisions we'll make this coming winter and spring as we plan for 2026 and beyond. The trends we'll discuss tonight mirror what districts across the state are also experiencing. As always, our financial story aligns with our district promise. Every student is empowered to learn in an inclusive setting and is prepared for the future of their choice. We'll start with general fund revenues. General fund total revenues for 24-25 were $91.6 million. That's about $3.3 million or 3.8% increase from the prior fiscal year. State revenues drove most of that growth. You can see there at 7.6%, primarily due to enrollment. We did have some enrollment increase last year and apportionment adjustments that the legislature made the prior year. And federal revenues dropped because in 23-24 we used up our ESSER funds that were fully expended. And then other non-tax revenues, which is called other sources there, those decreased due to lower parent and guardian paid meal purchases in last year. And that's a good thing because we had 3 buildings that qualified for free meals last year, whereas we didn't have that the prior year. And as you know, and can see from the graph, state funding makes up the majority of our revenues and resources at 78.2%, and then local tax revenue comes in at about 16%. General fund expenditures, we totaled about $91.9 million, up 4% from last year. Salaries and benefits remain the largest expense in our budget, representing about 88% of total spending. This reflects cost of living adjustments and increased benefit costs. Supplies and materials spending decreased primarily because there was no curriculum adoption last year, but there was the prior year, as well as there was reductions to funds allocated to building and departments due to budget reductions for the 3rd straight fiscal year. Some of our fastest growing costs, liability insurance, utilities, and special education services, continue to rise faster than state funding. And so these pressures are structural, they're statewide, and something that others are experiencing as well. Our fund balance, the ending general fund balance in August 2025 was $8.2 million, down about $300,000 from the prior year August. Unassigned fund balance was $7.5 million, 8.4% of projected revenues, which is above the 5% minimum, which represents that red line there. And this gives us the capacity to absorb some minor enrollment swings or timing delays in state apportionment. However, cash flow varies widely, and larger federal cuts, as well as unexpected special education or facility-related costs can strain cash flow in February and March before spring tax collections come in, as well as in June before our higher apportionment comes in during the summer. And so during these periods, fund balance may dip below the 5%. Looking ahead, first in the current year, we began 25-26 with a beginning fund balance about $300,000 more higher than budgeted. We budgeted to use, however, this year $1.4 million of fund balance. And enrollment, though, is under projection that was in the budget, partially mitigated by 2 fewer kindergarten sections. So we were able to make some staffing adjustments when we realized that enrollment was coming in lower. As you know, apportionment will right-size in January of 2026 when actual enrollment is reflected. And then any savings in the current year will help to reduce this use of fund balance, as well as help to mitigate some additional costs that we're experiencing this year. Looking ahead to 26-27, our future year reductions will be needed again to maintain the 5% unassigned fund balance. And a short legislative session and an unfavorable state revenue outlook is unlikely to help this situation. The legislative session is scheduled to be January through March. For our other funds, we ended the year in stable condition. Our ASB fund was increased to about $701,000, reflecting strong student activity participation. Our debt service fund increased to $5.1 million for bond, principal, and interest payments this year. And capital projects fund is down $2.1 million for some of those several major projects that were completed. And then transportation vehicle fund also was down to $837,000 due to scheduled bus purchases. We need to keep a close watch on cash flow trends, as the position of total fund balance will likely dip below the board minimum of 5% in the months where revenues are lower. And I am open to any questions. Thank you for your time.
So usually right sizing in January is a good thing for us, but this year it does not seem that is going to be the case.
Correct. We will see a decrease in our apportionment revenues that month.
And then also, I just wanted to highlight a really great job from you and your team. I know EBSOC costs, the materials and supplies and all that stuff, like the actual overall costs significantly increased over the year. And for you guys to come in under, like to actually reduce that number is amazing work by your team. So I really want to appreciate all the hard work you did there.
Thank you. That's the whole team and the entire district.
Yeah, great job.
Comment. As I was saying, going ahead of you, looking at the tables and so on, come in, questions to ask about them. Mm-hmm. And when you covered them, you answered all my questions.
Oh, excellent. I'm trying to anticipate.
I also just want to piggyback what Director Evans said around just the idea that you all are able to pivot and make adjustments on the fly to help save funds throughout the year. And that's something I really appreciate, is the attention to detail your department and the overall district has been doing to try and save funds.
As you may have seen with the agenda item, there were 3 other items. One was some light reading material, the F-196, which is the state document that is required for us to do every year, as well as the August and September financial reports, which you're used to seeing each month. If you have any questions about any of those, I'm happy to answer that as well.
No, I appreciate that you're thorough and you're giving us the information that we need at the time that we need it. and I want to thank you for that. And I appreciated your year-end report. I've sat through many over my years, and this was very clean, while being detailed, it's succinct, and right to the point, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Floyd. I really appreciate you making it back from Coopville and giving this report tonight. You did a good job, and just want to highlight what Director Evans said again, that the team is a whole team, but the attention to detail that you have puts us in a position where we can make decisions when we need to quickly. We're going to need to continue to make decisions that will require us to remain running lean in the district because of the structural issues that maintain in public ed in Washington State. And thank you for being able to position us to make those decisions and keep those dollars, keep those reductions, I should say, as far away from the classrooms as possible. Thank you.
So Dr. Ryan, almost Dr. Ryan, are you implying that the paramount duty of the state constitution is not currently being met by state budget?
I don't see that there's ample funding being provided to public education. Director Olson. Thank you.
It's a wonder we've had for many years.
Yeah.
Yes. There's one final item on the superintendent's report, and it was attempted to be removed earlier, but was left on, and that is a special recognition. And that recognition is for Director Schreiber. And I just want to say thank you for 12 years of service in the district, and appreciate that service. And Vice President King, Director King is going to present you and read the token of appreciation that we have.
With our deepest appreciation for your service as a member of the Stanwood-Camano School District Board of Directors, we honor Al Schreiber, District 1, 2013-2025. We are extremely grateful for the role you have played throughout the years. Your wisdom has been invaluable, and your commitment to doing what is best for kids unwavering. Your service to the district will long be remembered.
We have, we're going to present this to you, but definitely a photo in front. That's all right, in front of the podium down here.
There you go. All right, ready? 1, 2. Good.
There's actually one final item on the superintendent's report, and it's on the screen in front of you. That is the enrollment report for November that shows 4,657 FTE. That's down 9 from October and down 20 from November in the previous year, 2024. Annual average FTE is at 4,657. Which is 8 off FTE from budgeted, which we've talked about previously, and is expected to continue to decline, which we also indicated previously based on prior year trends. Although Running Start and Open Doors are above projected enrollment, the impact to the budget is minimal because most of that funding is pass-through funding to the colleges and to graduation Alliance. We also expect transitional kindergarten to be above budget due to an earlier start. However, the district is only funded because of the legislation last year at the budgeted FTE of 37. So any questions on the enrollment report as presented?
Do we know where all the kindergartners went? Do we know where they are?
So we received the draft version of the demographic study back. That draft version outlines the fact that in Snohomish County, birth rates are down overall in the county. In speaking with other districts, they actually realized that decrease in the kindergarten, local districts like Arlington and Lakewood, they realized that decrease in enrollment last year. So it was a lag from last year, but nothing that we would have expected based on what our projections had indicated. Although we were able to reduce that staffing prior to the year, it is still impacts our budget, right? With regard to the total FTE. It's typical that we continue to see a decrease in enrollment from October, but mitigating it as much as possible with continued reductions as the year goes on. So the short answer to that is not exactly where they are, but we feel like it was a lag from neighboring districts that they realized in the past year.
I'm wondering, did we do any adjustment on those numbers based on COVID? Because if you think back to that time frame, that would have been right in the heat of that time period. So
sure. Mrs. Floyd's going to discuss.
Kindergarten enrollment is based on births for 5 years prior. And so looking at births for 5 years prior, there was an indication that there would be some reduction, but that isn't, it came through much less than that. That was not what we expected given the births 5 years ago. And the births 5 years ago wasn't quite in the COVID period quite yet, because of the 9 months prior thing. So we need to be looking at that for the next iteration. And the demographer does have kindergarten possibly going down again, although he's thinking that this year could have been a fluke for us. But my recommendation is that we are conservative and that perhaps we wait to hire staff until later in the summer when we know that those sessions can be filled.
That's right.
Just to clarify, you said the other districts around us, like Lakewood and Arlington, saw this drop last year. Did they see a similar, what does their data show this year? I mean, I guess I can Google it, but if you happen to know it.
I believe that they adjusted, like we will. They adjusted for this year, and so they weren't as far off this year.
But is it similar to the numbers that we're tracking, or did they
have another drop?
Did they have another drop?
They did not have another drop.
They did
not have as significant a drop this
so
year.
So it's consistent with last year. It was just the one drop, and then it seems consistent. So they adjusted for it.
Yes.
Recovery.
It's not a recovery, but it's flat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So drop and flat.
That's right. We, as you know, the demographic. Thank you. The demographic study is finished, and Ruth and I are studying that. It's been provided to you as well that you had a look at, and the discussion is around typically going between the low and medium projection and erring more towards the low projection. Now that has implications when we budget, though, as far as if we only budget for a low enrollment, that will have implications around staffing as well.
A lot of negative numbers there in that part right home.
There is
across the board. It's negative numbers.
Yes.
A lot.
I will say though, when we look at our district as compared to other districts, especially in the South Sound or South County, we're still not seeing the decrease in enrollment at the percentile that other districts are farther south.
Okay, thank you.
Also for K, I believe there was some cutback in classes offered by 2. What does that do to staffing? How is that handled relative to staff?
those two classrooms that were planned for were collapsed and staff were moved to other grade levels.
Another question. So if we have a surprise of the recovery of enrollment, could that staff be moved back?
Staffing moves are based on seniority and those that put in for transfer. So yes, that absolutely could happen. And we'll watch and see closely if we need to add back later in the year.
So potentially no increase in cost?
If we have more students come in, it will increase our allocation through enrollment.
Yeah.
So no increase in cost if we have enrollment increase.
Yes.
Any other questions? That ends the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Oveno. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Anyone in attendance may speak to the items contained in the consent agenda, and only those items contained in the consent agenda at this time. This is not the portion of the meeting for open public comment on items outside of the consent agenda that will come up later. Are there anyone that wishes to, let's see, are there any board directors who wish to pull any item from the consent agenda for discussion? Okay. Are there any people in attendance who wish to speak to any of these consent agenda items? Online? Okay. We have no old business to discuss, and we have no one that signed up for public comment tonight. So.
I want to move to approve the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you.
I will second approving items on the consent agenda, items 1 through 5.
All right, it was moved by Director Olson, seconded by Director Murray. All those. Evans. Sorry. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda's items 1 through 5, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. That passes unanimously. Thank you for catching that. Not that I'm in a hurry to leave or anything.
Coming down the home stretch.
Okay, no public comment. So, new business topics scheduled for school board discussion. And we have no items scheduled there. So we're moving to student representative reports on school business. Good point.
Things have been going well at YGHS. We ended session 2 on November 4th, and students remained diligent to turn in their assignments and log in for credit. We had open mic advisory the following Friday, in which students and even our ASB advisor, Mr. Christensen, gave karaoke performances or cheered on those who were. Not unlike Stanwood High School, our fall conferences will be held during the remainder of this week, and we will be on early release schedule each day. There have been multiple exciting discussions happening among our ASB, including purchasing an air hockey team for the students to enjoy in the commons, our upcoming pancake breakfast, which is to be held during advisory on December 18th, and even a to-be-dated school-wide field trip to the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle. Overall, it is an exciting time to be at Lincoln Hill, and I am as proud as ever to preside over and represent my school.
Thank you, Patrick. Lexington.
So I have been emailing the Stanwood Middle School and trying to get like a report from them. We weren't able to get like a full report this time, but I'm thinking of either going down there and kind of discussing with like their leadership or just working with the teachers to get one. But they did send me an email of things that they've like done, and I just wanted to like point out some of the things I thought were good, which was Unity Day on October 22nd. Students came and wore orange, and then for the students who didn't have orange, they passed out orange beads, which I thought was cute. And then they had a sock drive from October 27th through the 31st where they donated socks, and I thought that was like really nice. It's like kind of giving back. And then they had a Halloween dance for their students, and they had a Veterans Day assembly where they invited the community, which I thought was like a nice touch. And they had a World Kindness Day where students made a giant poster that said kind, and the students got to do the eye of the kind. And I thought it was really cute because we kind of have something similar at the high school. And then they had a Blue Out November 14th, which was for diabetes awareness, and I thought it was just kind of like touching. And as for Stanwood High School, we haven't really been up too much except for planning for December. We do like winter wishes and like spirit days throughout all of December, so we've been planning that. And then we had our Veterans Day assembly where we talked about each branch of veterans and kind of just honored them. We had one girl who came and played the guitar and sang in front of everyone, which I thought was really cute. I would not be able to do that, but I thought that was so rude of her. She did really good. And then winter sports started yesterday, so there was tryouts that are going on all week. And today was the first time we held the superintendent's student leadership team, and that was held in the library. I thought it went really well for like the first time this year. And we just went over like the topics that were talked about last year, which was the phone policy and AI, and we kind of just got to discuss that, and I thought that was really nice. And then we got to decide on possible topics to talk about this year, and I really liked all of them. I think they're really good ideas to talk about. And then our volleyball is going to state. They beat Mount Vernon, so that's really exciting. The fall plays were so cute. I saw the pictures and stuff, and I just thought that was really cute. And then, yeah, we're just working on getting the December stuff planned out and making sure it's ready to go. And then our students have been really engaged, which I think is good, except there are a lot of targets this week that they kind of like been strict about, but I think that's good because parties are not good. Thank you.
Thank you for those student representative reports. We'll now move on to board director reports on school business conducted, beginning with Director Evans.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This week is our WASDA convention, our annual convention. We are headed down to Seattle on Thursday. I always look forward to the legal briefing and sort of what's going on and new and different. This year is the first year that it's in Seattle. Usually it kind of alternates between Bellevue and Spokane, so kind of excited about a new venue and sort of what that looks like. Hanging out with all the other directors and learning and all that jazz. Congratulations to all of the local people on their elections that won. Really excited to work with all of the new folks, and just really excited because they will be coming with us to our WASDA convention, which I think is really great. I just wanted to say thank you to Alexa. Like, that's really great that you reached out to the middle schools to try to get updates from them. That's fantastic. I appreciate all of that. And then just a reminder, this week and next week, they are wonky schedules at work or at school, so make sure you're checking your schedule every day of where you're supposed to be and what time you're supposed to be there, because it's not normal. So just, to avoid tardies, make sure you check your schedules. That's all I got.
Thank you, Director. Director Olson.
Well, you're a tough act to follow.
I know, sorry.
Not sure what else I could add, so I'm not going to try.
Thank you, Director Olson. That's why I always start at that end. Director Murray.
I, like Miranda, I'm excited about convention later this week and getting a chance to, have time to interact with all of our board members and really kind of set a new path forward for some really positive work in the district. Other than that, I wish everyone a wonderful holiday next week. Make sure you eat lots of turkey or tofu, turkey, or whatever it is that you eat, and looking forward to the holidays.
Thank you, Director Murray. Director King.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, twice a month I get to meet with Ryan and Nell. And to me, that's the two high points of the month, especially since Ryan is so open to input. That's really special. Also, WASDA. when I was first on the board in 23, between the election and being sworn in, we did and lost it. And John, you're gonna really get a lot out of that. Yeah, a giant learning curve for discovery. So have fun.
Thank you, Director King, and I'm going to have the last word tonight, so I will let you go next.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to say thanks to all of you, but the student reps have been busy. We're kind of upping the game for the student reps as far as what is expected and required of them to give student voice to all of our students in the district. You heard Alexa and Patrick made an attempt to get information from the middle schools, and we'll keep at that. We want to make sure that there's voice across the system from our student reps. They were part of SSLT today, and we'll take a leadership role in that as well. I want to just highlight what we've called the 4 A's in the past. That's arts, academics, athletics, and activities. And Evan and I were doing a levy presentation at Warren Beach Senior Center this morning and asked, one question was, what are you most proud of right now in the district? And my answer was that we can highlight the 4 A's. So going back to our promise that goes to every student. We think that we provide something for every student in our district, whether it's the play, which I had an opportunity to see the previous Friday night around the arts, sports teams that are starting up, first wrestling and basketball and practices yesterday and some off to state. The FFA Jamboree that happened last week where we welcomed 8 different districts in to our high school to participate around current tech ed and all the other activities that have been called out tonight. So I want to highlight when I am able to talk to the community about what's going well. It is the 4 A's, and it means that there's something for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Romanell. And I am just thankful for the directors that I've had the privilege and pleasure to work with over the past 12 years, and past and the current directors. Thank you. And to a wonderful staff that has done a terrific job for our kids here. Thank you. And to those that are coming on the board, I wish you well. And I'm just so grateful for what the school district does for our kids. And with that, there being no further business, the November 18th, 2025 regular school board meeting and my final meeting is adjourned.